All right, what's up, guys? Welcome to today's live stream. Today we are going to, we're going to take a look at everything. So from Bitcoin to crypto, well, obviously Bitcoin, so Bitcoin, altcoins, legacy markets, and everything. It's the wrong one. It's another one. That's the correct one. All right, welcome. Let's run the intro. All right, guys. Hope you guys are having a fantastic Monday. Great start to your week. So I haven't really checked the markets yet today. So what we're gonna do today is we're gonna go through the markets together here and see if we can find anything. So I'm gonna do my regular morning, daily market scan and market update and the daily trading routine and see if we can find anything interesting. So I'm thinking this is going to be 45 to 60 minutes live stream today. And of course, as always, if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button if you like the content. And of course, if you like me as a person, hit like because I love you all. And that's what I want you to do. So what I want to be talking about today is obviously Bitcoin, but I also want to be talking about trading in general. And while I'm going through my regular market routine here or daily market trading routine or whatever, I want to talk about some important aspects of trading here. And let's start with Bitcoin here, right? So I recorded and released a video yesterday on a potential long setup if we had a reclaim of 40K. That's not happening, right? That's not happening. I also talked about the S&P 500, how it closed the Friday candle quite bearishly, right? So we closed the week quite bearishly. We actually had a short setup on S&P on the S&P in the Bubness where I wanted to go short here, stops here. Obviously got stopped out here and then it moved to the downside. It kind of sucks, but whatever. The daily here is it's not looking good, right? So the weekly close on the S&P 500 is not very beautiful. Look at that daily candle right there with that huge wick right there. We did see a potential break in market structure on this move right here, where the break in market structure would have been this, right? But we failed to hold this as support. That was a fake out, a clear rejection, and the daily candle closed rather bearishly. So I think if we're gonna see and obviously I'm looking at the S&P 500, and you might be wondering why am I looking at the S&P 500 where when I'm supposed to be talking about Bitcoin. Well, right now the correlation between risk assets like the S&P 500 and Bitcoin is very like the correlation is very obvious here, and that's because I believe we are in a market condition where um, risk on assets are definitely moving very correlated now with the financial and the geopolitical situation we have in the world right now. If we do like it's a very headline driven market right now. So if Putin comes out and says something interesting and positive about the war situation, that's going to cause risk assets to rally like Bitcoin, S&P 500 and stuff like that, right? And if we see a negative development, we're going to see markets move to the downside most likely, and that's the scenario you have been in for a couple of months, I believe, or at least from the start of the war, which time moves quickly. Anyway, so I'm it's looking all right at this point, right? But a all we need here is a bearish catalyst for a move lower. And you can clearly see this level right here, which is obviously acting as a strong resistance, right? So this is a very important area that the S&P 500 needs to get above. And I believe it's the same move that Bitcoin needs to do, looking at this chart right here. That reclaim of 4.3K for the S&P 500 would probably mean a reclaim of this 40K region for Bitcoin. If that happens, I believe we are in for a potential move up to the area between 44K and 45K, which is the range high of the current range that Bitcoin is trading inside at this moment. And that was the long idea that I talked about. But right now at this point, we what I do is I'm just setting an alert here around 40K, right? And I'm not gonna really, because current market condition, price action, it's not giving me a setup on Bitcoin at this point. I think it's more probable that we see a move lower, but it's because of the fact that it's a very headline driven market at this point. We need a catalyst, like an FA catalyst, for that move to happen. So let's see what happens, right? So that's Bitcoin. I'm basically, I have an alert at 40K to alert me for a potential long up to 44.5, and I'm also setting an alert below these candles right here at 37.5 to alert me for potential breakdown down to 35.5, and that's a fairly dangerous area for Bitcoin. It's really, in my opinion, the last support before we see a move down to 30K or perhaps even sub 30K. So it's a very important level to watch, but we can't do much at this point other than just observe and listen and act on whatever the market is giving us, right? So this is a very important part as well in trading. So what I do when I come down to my office is, first of all, is I meditate for 5 minutes, right? And then I have a few playlists on YouTube, um, that has like positive affirmation, and some have positive affirmation specifically for traders. So I meditate for 5 minutes, control my breathing, and I listen to these positive affirmations, and they are I use them to get into the zone, right? Let me talk a little bit about the zone, right? So I listen to these positive affirmation, and they say stuff like, "I am a profitable trader. I am disciplined, calm, and focused. I believe in probabilities." Um, Stuff like, "My next trade has nothing to do with my previous trade. The outcome of my next trade is completely random." Uh, you know, disconnect yourself from your emotion while trading, stuff like that, right? And that helps me to remember and understand the important parts in trading. And I can with 100% certainty say that this has helped me in my trading, because trading is, I believe, 75% psychological, mental, right? While I'd say only only like 25% or even less is TA, right? You guys who has been following me for a while know that I often say TA is easy, trading is hard. And that's what I mean. TA is easy because you can just draw a lot of lines on a shot. It's very easy to see that this is a range for Bitcoin. And the break and retest of our horizontal level, you want to go long to the upside, right? Very simple. TA is simple. But the execution of that TA, the idea to follow the plan and follow your ideas that you've found using TA, is just extremely hard. You have greed, you have fear, you have FOMO and the fear of getting stopped out and stuff like that. That will be your biggest fear. So in trading, when you learn TA, it's going to take a long time, but after TA you have a lifelong lesson in the mental struggles that you're going to find as a professional profitable trader. We have a question here. Which channel is for trading affirmations? I just recommend that you go on YouTube and you search for trading affirmations, right? But and you try some out, because it's important that it fits you, right? But I have a few ones, which is, you should definitely check out Trading Composure, right? You should follow him on Twitter as well. So let me find that. Anyways, Trading Composure. I'm pretty sure it's called. He's also on Twitter. Follow him. I can't find the link right now, but he has some great stuff. And then I also have um, a girl on Twitter called Trade, like the Mindful Trader or something like that. She has some really good ones, which I like. You can also create your own ones. This is what I'm working on. I think this is the most powerful ones. Record your own ones, right? Get a good mic, stuff like that, and find out which affirmations work best for you. what really drives you as a trader, and then record a message to yourself, 5 to 10 minutes, where you tell yourself the affirmations that you know work best for you. So that's actually something I'm working on. I'm hoping to record, release that in a couple of weeks. But that's also, that's very probably the most effective way of using positive affirmations is recording your own. Right. So yeah, let's take a look at other markets as well. So that's Bitcoin, right? So what I first do is in the morning, I usually go and look at some. Let's see what we have here. So I look at some economic news channels. I always, first thing I want to do before I start looking at the market is I want to make sure that I'm up to date with which news or on what's happening in terms of economic news releases. So today we have nothing. Tomorrow we have some major news event going on for GBP, the Euro area, and USD all around, not the same time, but we got at 8 and 11. So tomorrow is a major day. And then we have, well, this week is obviously, yeah, of course, we have on the 16th, we have FOMC economic projection. We had the Fed interest rate decision. So this is going to be a major, 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 major day. We have the core inflation rate and, the CPI, I believe, for CAD, and some major stuff going on for USD and NCD, as well as the day after we have AUD and CPI for Euro, and the Bank of England interest rate decision the 17th. And then the 18th we have Bank of Japan interest rate decision as well as CPI, I believe. So we have this whole week. This whole week is a major news event, right? Which means it's going to be very hard for me to trade this week, because let me explain how I'm trading the markets, right? I'm trading from a strictly technical perspective, right? Where I'm only using the major news event as a signal to tell me that your technical system might not work as well when there's a high impact news event, because of the fact that the news might move price in very with high momentum and very rapidly against your trading idea. But when in calm conditions, my system works very well, because I trade with the trends, and usually in calm markets, the trend seems, tends to follow the dominant trend, right? And that's the only trend I trade. But when you have major news event like this, these are major impact, high impact news event that might cause prices to shift direction, that might cause trends to end or new trends to begin. So if you're trend following trader, you don't want to be opening a new position before an event like this one or right after. You want to wait for the news event to get out. You want to wait for the market to digest the news and then trade based on that news. If there's a continuation of the current trend, you want to stay in that trend. If you see signs of a potential breakdown, you want to wait for a potentially new trend to form. Yes, and of course we have, and I believe this is from Andy, which is one of my private students. What's up, man? So if this is the Andy, which has like this guy, I believe this is this guy. He and correct me if I'm wrong. If like you had like almost 100% win rate when first trying to trade my like forward testing my system, which is insane. It's all pretty cool, man. Pretty cool. Anyway, so EU will vote in 3 hours. So they have a, like, guys, I haven't really read the details of this, and I haven't really read much about this, but a couple of weeks ago we had a news coming out. They wanted to introduce in a new bill in the EU. They want to introduce something which would cause a ban on proof of work. Proof of work networks or blockchains or whatever, right? And they then removed that. They removed that into on that bill because of the backlash, right? But then, on last minute, the day before voting, and this happens quite a lot, right? You will see that when governments introduce very controversial new laws or bans or whatever, you've seen that a lot of times they do this in a holiday season when there's a lot of politicians not even voting on that, and they will also do it in last minute so that the media and the public doesn't really get to know that bill until it's introduced. And this is a scenario where we have that right now. And without reading much about it or the detail about it, I believe that this could potentially be very dangerous, because this is how they work. If they really want to start banning stuff and they really want to start going against the mainstream narrative, because obviously the majority of people in crypto, obviously, and I believe in financials, doesn't want to work, don't want to ban proof of work networks, right? That's insanely stupid, right? It makes no sense at all. And they know this, but I believe that they also know that proof of work networks in crypto poses a serious risk to their financial system, right? And especially the new system that they're working on implementing, which is central bank digital currencies, right? So we have a major shift in the economic world right now, where banks are, and you can look at this on the last um, like presidential direction or whatever that was, the document that the White House sent out, where the White House administration basically told the U.S. lawmakers and institutions to start preparing for implementation of CBDCs, central bank digital currencies. That's happening right now. That got released on the eighth this month, right, last week. And now the EU is talking about banning proof of work networks. So we are seeing a huge shift in the world of financial. We're really seeing the scenario where that the Bitcoin was made for. Bitcoin was made for this, right? And I believe that they're trying to do everything they can to suppress the power of Bitcoin, because they want to introduce their own crypto-ish or blockchain-ish currency called CBDCs, where they will have full authority, 100% ownership of that currency, right? They will know who owns that dollar bill, who, they can go so far. And you will see that the director of the Bank of International Settlements, which is basically the central bank of central banks, he talks about this in a clip on Twitter, right? Where he talks about how he can not only control the 100% of the money flow, he can also control um, what the people does with the money, basically. So he can basically say that with this 100 bill, you're only going to be able to buy this and this, right? And this is happening, folks. This is happening. This is the future, right? So I believe that what's going on in the EU right now, you guys got to pay attention. You got to pay attention to what's happening around the world right now, and understand that this is a threat to Bitcoin, right? And if it's a threat to Bitcoin, it's a threat to the whole crypto market. So please pay attention to what's happening, because I do believe that not only Bitcoin, like the future of Bitcoin does not only depend on this, but your own freedom as individuals, and the freedom you have to buy and sell whatever you want, and the freedom that cash gives you will disappear. Will disappear. We're gonna have a cashless society, and whether you like it or not, right? They're all setting it up. Anyway, this video was not meant to do a was not meant to talk about this today. But anyway, I feel it's very, very important to remember, even if we're just trading price action, I don't really care about the fundamentals, but I do care about my personal liberties and my freedom of action. I believe that is what's threatened here. All right, so EU diplomats are trying to conclude the sanctions package by today. Russian export ban on cars. Need to know market risk. This is a great site, by the way. It's financialjuice.com. You can read about what's going on around the world, and you can see what's happening around the world that might affect the markets, and this will give you a good idea on like risk sentiment, right? So you're seeing here, and that's what we're just reading right here. India's mulling the Russian offer to sell oil. Nuclear discussions are talking about short break. The return to nuclear discussions relies on US making decisions. All right, so nothing major right now. No major announcement or comment from world leaders. All right, so other than that, we're clear, but we have a major news week today. So I'm not gonna be trading. Is it tomorrow, right? So I might be trading. We have no news event today, so I might be trading something today. Let's look at some altcoins. All right, let's look at some altcoins. We also have, um, right. So what we have on the 4 hour right here, we're getting a push to the upside, but we need to get above 40K. So Bitcoin is not interesting until we actually get above 40K, right? So we need to get above 40K. Um, let's look at some altcoins right here. I do have my list right here. I want to look at XMR as well. Look at this, right? So this is a video released on YouTube yesterday where I talked about the potential long setup on Bitcoin, and I'm also talking about talked about Monero right here, where we had, as you can see right here, I had the fibs measured from that low to this high, and you'll see that you have the reload zone perfect here, confluent with the daily 50 and the daily 20 EMA. So you have a hit of the daily 50 and daily 20 EMA with a stochastic bull cross below 30, giving us that very, very nice push to the upside. But the setup was actually based on the bounce inside the reload zone and then the break and retest of the 50%, which would have been like this would have been the setup, right? Something like this. And it's actually kind of playing out right now. It's kind of playing out right now. But considering what Bitcoin is doing right here, like I have no reason to believe that the Monero will just rocket without Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin stays here, if Bitcoin, however, breaks above 40K, XMR Monero here is just a beautiful example of a decent trade using my system. But we got to be careful, all right? We got to be careful because of Bitcoin. So I'm not taking this trade right now. I'm waiting for extra confirmation. I'm adding some alerts above and also below to see if we have invalidation. Invalidation of this idea, because it wouldn't really look very pretty, would be a break below probably this trend, right? The break below this trend, breaking below this area right here would definitely invalidate this. By the way, guys, if you like what I'm doing here, understand or not understand, but remember that I'm sharing these ideas and analysis on a daily basis inside the Burb Nest community, and you can try it out for free. So you can join for free 7 days. Just go to the link in the description or scroll in the text below, and you can join for free. No question asked, no credit card required, nothing like that. All right, so that's XMR. I have that on my most interesting list right now. Now let's look at a couple of altcoins, right? A couple of altcoins that I think looks very good. I did a session inside the Discord, and we talked about Mana, right? Where Mana hit the, I had a member saying, it hit the daily 200 simple, which it did right here, and it looked pretty good. And I then said, well, I wouldn't be buying here because it's such an, obvious local downtrend. I would wait for at least the 618 to get reclaimed here. But also, look at the reload zone here, measured from that low to this high. You'll see that price is right now inside the reload zone. And like this looks like a really good area for Mana to start moving. Considering the private mentorship, it's all sold out, so we don't have any. We actually do not have any spots left in the private mentorship program. There might be something interesting coming up in the short-term future, so definitely keep your eyes on the Burbnest Twitter, and also follow me on Twitter if you haven't already. I'm at libs42 on Twitter, and whenever I have spots for new private students, I'm probably going to be announcing that on Twitter. And if I do have any spots opening up, because I'm very limited on time, so at this point I can only have like a couple of students, like maybe 4 at a time. But if I have new spots opening up, I will probably announce that on Twitter, and I will then have an interview or ask you to explain your needs and your goals in trading, because I want to make sure, like, I'm not only in, obviously I'm doing it for the money as well, but I'm not only interested in the money aspect. I want to make sure that my students are a good fit for me. I want to make sure that when you join the mentorship, at the end of the mentorship, I want to make sure that you're able to trade, right? You're able to trade profitably, because my biggest goal here in life is to transform as many people as possible into profitable traders, right? So I need to make sure that's a good fit. So keep your eyes on my Twitter at libs42 on Twitter. So I was out on a run this morning around 7 a.m. quite early, right? And such a beautiful day, right? Sun has just been rising, and it was a really beautiful day. I could feel that, the spring was starting. It had a great feeling, right? And I had that feeling. I was watching people getting ready to go to work, waking up, and dragging their kids to school, and I was watching them. I'm like, fuck. A lot of these people, they look so tired and almost depressed, and I'm there, I'm running, and I'm telling myself I can run for as long as I want. I can start working whenever I want. I can take a break today if I want. I don't have to work today. I can do whatever I want, really. I have alerts waiting for me at home. I have alerts just popping up on my screen, and that will alert me when there's a trade. I can take a trade. I don't have to take a trade. I can take one trade this week, and if it's profitable, I hit my target, right? So I'm out there running, and I'm thinking, I really want people to experience this, but I really want people to experience the freedom, not only the financial freedom, but the real freedom, the freedom of action, the freedom of doing whatever you want, and the freedom is to be free, right? And that's such a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful feeling. And guys, it's possible. It's very, very possible, right? You know, before I started trading, I think at this point, I've been I've been sober for 7 or 8 years now. I had nothing, not a dollar, right? At the end, like, when everything went to shit for me, I was living. I was basically homeless, just a homeless addict, right? That was about 8 years ago. I've been in the markets for 4 to 5 years right now, and now I'm totally independent. I'm trading for a living. I'm making money doing almost nothing, right? So it's possible. Anyone can really do this, right? With enough work and discipline and patience, you can do this, right? It's just like, you just need to spend the time, be consistent, and most importantly, be that word I'm looking for, where you don't give up, right? Just what's the word I'm looking for? When you don't give up. Yeah, you're like, when you don't give up. Please help me out here. Anyway, let's look at some altcoins. We have AVAX, right? So let's just go through this list that I kind of liked a couple of days ago. And right now it's, it looks like shit. It's not looking very good. It's not looking very good, right? I'm not liking this. It's just not really giving me any bullish vibes at all. All right, persistent perseverance. Oh, god damn it! You don't even need to master English, obviously, to be a trader as well, which is great. Yeah, so it's not looking good. It's not looking bullish. AVAX is not looking at bullish at this point. Oh, Luna, holy fuck me! Look at this, god damn it! And look at this. Andy, which is one of my students, obviously mentioned Luna, because we're trading the same system, and he's probably looking at this from the same perspective as I am. So Andy's saying Luna's looking decent here for a throwback to the 4-hour 20 EMA, which, yes, absolutely. So what happened here, and this is a chart that we looked at last week, right? on last webinar where we were trading here, and I said I want to see Luna come down here and then break above and retest this level, and obviously not exactly as I not exactly as I predicted, obviously, but that doesn't matter. Uh, what is happening though is we have a round the bottom right here, and now we have the monthly open. It's absolutely beautiful. So breaking retest of the 50, I'll go long, right? Now we need to be patient. This is where patience come in, because you see here, you have the stochastic RSI above 70 on the 4 hour, which means you do not enter a trade when stochastics RSI is this high. You want to be entering a trade when stochastics is around 30 or below. So you want to see a push to the upside and then a retrace, and this is where you want to go long. So that's the whole idea with the break and retest system. You wait for the breakout and then you go long on the retest. Break to the upside, go long on the retest. So this would be the setup, right? This would be the setup, which I'm thinking the push to the upside hopefully happens around this area. So I'm gonna add an alert right here, and we're basically waiting for this now, right? We're basically waiting for this, and I'll go long and read this on the monthly open if there's confirmation with stochastics below 30. So that's the most interesting right now. Now, somebody mentioned Rune as well. So let's look at Rune. Do we have anything important going on for Rune? I had on my last live stream somebody saying that the fundamentals for Rune is looking absolutely fantastic. And I said, well, you probably shouldn't be buying here because it's resistance. Let's hope you ignore that and bought anyway. Now, I'm not going to tell you that, for me, buying resistance is never good, even if it's a profitable trade. So that's a very important distinction, right? There's bad trades and there's good trades, right? Bad trades can be winners, good trades can be losers, right? Because you have your system, and your job is to consistently follow that system, unless it's a broken system. But if you know that the system is long-term profitable, your goal and your job is to follow that system no matter what, right? Because if there's an edge, if it's long-term profitable, you follow that system, right? If you take a trade that's not based on your system and it's a winner, and next time you take that trade, that might be a winner as well, and you're saying, well, wait a minute, I'm actually profitable, not follow my rules. So that might create some bad habits and some negative routines in your trading life that tells you, you know what, when I don't follow my rules, I'm still making money, right? That might be true because the outcome in that case is definitely is 50-50 random, right? Because you have no idea what you're doing, you haven't tested that, right? So long term, you're gonna have a very hard time being profitable if you just take a trade based on randomness, throwing a dot on a whatever that's called. You know what I mean? So looking at Rune right here, it's actually looking really, really good. And what I'm watching for Rune here now, because now we have a major breakout, right? Now, when the market is first of all, I'm looking for longs only when price is above the daily 20 and the daily 50 EMA, as well as and then I'm basing my entry on the 4-hour moving average, which is these, right? And now that we have a major breakout here, this is now in a very good environment for me to go long. And I'm seeing something very obvious right here. If we use that low of that wick to the high of the current area, you'll probably see that the reload zone is around the weekly open, right? So the weekly open here is in pretty decent area for a trade, right? Now, considering that, looking at the daily, this is a pretty massive move, and when you have such a big move, you might want to expect you can expect that the retrace is going to be like when this move is ending, the retrace is going to be bigger than just a small 1-hour retrace. It's probably going to retrace down to the daily breakout area, which is down here, right? But if we have confirmation of this setup, it means there's still very much like a lot of bullish momentum coming in. And if you have confirmation of a long here, you might want to be taking this trade. Now, because of the fact that this is Not like the lows and highs here aren't very clear on the 4 hour. You might want to look at the 1 hour and confirm this entry based on the 1 hour, right? So you must want to zoom in and look at the breakout level on the 1 hour, which is obviously this one, confluent with the 50%. So you're gonna hear me a lot, say a lot, look at the reload zone, look at the 50%. If there's a bounce inside the reload zone, you might want to look for the break and retest of the 50% level if it's a clear horizontal level, which is obviously is at this point. So this would be the trade. If we start retracing down here, I would take this long if the 4 hour stochastics goes below 30, right? So price needs to move down here. Stochastics needs to be moving below 30, and I need to have some type of confirmation either on the 4 hour or the 1 hour. Now, this is not a perfect system or perfect trade because the 4 hour 20 EMA is all the way down here and the 4 hour 50 is all the way down here. And remember, I'm basing my entry mostly on the 4 hour 20 and the 4 hour 50. But then you go on the 1 hour, and you add the moving averages on the 1 hour, and you'll see that they're in perfect confluence on the 1 hour right here. And you can also see that this 1 hour trend is hitting the EMAs absolutely beautifully on the 1 hour. So if this scenario or this if this scenario continues, obviously we have a trade here based on the 1 hour instead of the 4 hour that I usually trade. Now I've back tested the 4 hour, like my 4 hour and daily system. I've back tested that extensively. I know it's profitable. I've been trading it for about a year now profitably, but I have not back tested this 1 hour entry strategy as well. So it would be a riskier setup, and I probably need to have lower risk on these setups. And I also probably shouldn't take it because I haven't really spent that much time back testing it. But I definitely like this. Is Moonriver a scam? I don't know what Moonriver is, but just judging by the name, probably. Probably. Anything with moon in it, probably a scam. Probably a scam. All right. So a good idea. Gonna monitor this, but might not probably not enter it. Right. So let's look at Dash. Do we have anything on Dash? How's Dash looking? Well, no, nothing here. Acro. Did we have anything on AVEX? No, nothing here as well. Acro. Not at all. Waves. Well, I think waves might break the structure here, but I'll keep that monitoring that. So let's look at the alt indices right here. The alt perp is not much happening here. It's a very quiet market, obviously. Very quiet market. Yeah, not much going on. So in crypto right now, I have two, really, I believe there's only two coins I'm going to be monitoring for the next couple of hours or days, and that's Luna and Rune. I haven't really done an extensive market scan on altcoins in a while. I can do one quick just to see if we have anything interesting going on. Let's see. And basically what I'm watching here is I'm going to do a very quick scan, right? And what I'm watching is price on the daily according to the daily moving averages, which is the daily 20 and daily 50. Is the daily market structure bullish in any way, and is price above the 20 and 50? If they are, it's on their green list, right? And some of them are on the green list already. Without that, I'm not going to remove that. I'm just going to quickly go through here what I have. So this one is good. Let's see what we have. So when doing these scans with a lot of coins, it's all about efficiency, right? You gotta be efficient. You gotta be quick, because you gotta. For me, it's all about being time efficient and scanning as quickly as possible, getting a list out as quickly as possible, and having a list to monitor. And sometimes it's I'm not only adding coins that are according to the moving averages. Sometimes it's just based on intuition. If it's something that kind of pops and says like, oh, I like this, I like this. So there's something interesting going on. I'm just adding it to the list. I'm not really doing much more analysis or TA. I'm just letting my, unconscious or whatever intuition tell me what's good or not. And usually works very, very well. So I'm not putting a lot of TA or a lot of efforts into these market scans. I'm just letting price tell me, this is looking good. I don't know why, but it's something here, right? And then I'm adding that to green list. And when it's on the green list, I'll look on the 4-hour to see if there's actually any setups forming in the next few hours or the next few days. So I'm currently watching a list of 250 altcoins, and it shouldn't take me more than like 5 or 10 minutes to do this initial scan right here. And when I have that, I have a list which I know I can spend more time on and focus on in the next few days, right? And it's also important that if you're looking for longs, you want to look for strength, basically something that looks relatively stronger than like this, for example. All right, I don't know what this is, but look at this. There's a huge difference from what we've just seen in all other charts. That's relative strength right there. And everything else kind of looks the same, right? But then when you see something that looks different, it kind of pops, all right, this is something I want to be watching. Now, I don't know about and of course, Luna. Look at that. Of course, Luna is going to be on the list because it's just way different, right? So that's relative strength, right? And and when it looks like this, I don't care. It's just weird. It's weird. Yeah, we don't have time to go through the whole list. I'm going to continue after the stream to do that, and send so I'm just making a note here with MTL to know where I left off. Now, let's look at the legacy markets where I believe we are going to see some interesting moves. So first, we do the same thing with this list right here. Everything of interest will be moved to the orange list, and then I'll do the scan in a similar fashion to crypto, right? So yeah, this is interesting. It's already on the orange list. So I just go through this list quickly to see if we have anything else that we can add to the orange list. I believe it's going to be a big list, so we might have a lot of coins to cover this week. This one I'm adding some alerts and removing. This one should be a short. This one also should be a short. I'm just not really sure where. And then, of course, when I have the orange list and I'm looking at the 4-hour to find the better entries, I'm also gonna double check the news event and my news channels to see if I can find anything interesting. I'm just gonna go through the ones that are not in the orange list already. Holy shit! Look at that. So we have a very interesting market today. We have a lot of possible opportunities coming up. USD looks very strong. Let's look at the dollar currency index. All right, there might be a trade here actually, but I've never traded DXY, so I'll ignore that one. This idea is I have my alerts. I'm removing that one. Not very interesting anymore. USD versus the Swedish crown. I would wish it would dump quite heavily, but it's not. Silver, low time frame range. Nothing of interest here. Adding some alerts to alert me when there's a break of range, break of structure. Same with gold. And with oil, well, oil is retracing now. Where would it be retracing? Well, probably down to around this area right here, that's where I would be looking for along the 50 EMA on a daily. Natural gas, obviously, oh wow, very volatile here, very choppy. I'm not interested here. Euro 50, let's put an alert on a breakout. Also alert down here for potential short. Adding that to orange list. Use 100, S&P. Seems like we're definitely seeing a risk on push right here today. So I believe we are seeing a risk on push with me. Like you see on Bitcoin here, you see the dollar retracing. Everything looks the same in crypto land. Nothing out of interest here. So most altcoins look ready to short, like Neo here. This looks very good for a short. But considering the overall market moves, might want to be careful with those shorts, because I do feel like we have some type of risk on shift at the moment. Why? I don't know. Like it's just a feeling, right? You shouldn't be trading on your feelings unless you've been trading for many years, and that feeling is probably based on some type of intuitive knowledge of how the markets move, right? So at some point you should actually be trading on feelings. And I'd say if you guys have read the book, Trading in the Zone by Mark Douglas, which I highly recommend for my private students, it's like I tell them this is necessary. It's like part of the course. You need to read this. You need to listen to audiobook or whatever. You just read the book. It's necessary. It's crucial that you read that book and understand everything inside it. And he says something very interesting, and that is where trading based on intuition is the last stage of trading. Right. So when you have a trading system and you're following that blindly, and you learn to control your emotions, you have the psychological aspect of trading set, and you have the TA set. What the next stage of trading is, you sit at your screen, you enter that flow state of mind, and you just go with the flow, right? You just go with the flow, and that's where you just follow your intuitive feelings of, I'm taking this trade because I like this trade. I'm not sure why, but I'm just taking it, right? That's the last stage of trading. And you need many, 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 many hours of experience to be able to follow that. Because if you do that in the beginning, you're just going to be all over the place. You need a very clear structure and a very clear roadmap of what to do to be able to trade like that. The book is called Trading in the Zone by Mark Douglas, right? I highly recommend the audiobook, which is available on Audible. It's almost like I'm paid by them, but I'm not. It's 666 Swedish crown. I don't know why, but it is. It's not. This is not a satanistic book or whatever. Trading in the Zone by Mark Douglas. Check it out. You need this book in your life. All right. If you want to be a trader. Also, I remember I did an interview with a CEO of a very large crypto exchange, and after the interview, um, behind the scenes, we had just a casual talk, right? And he's been trading for like he traded on the floor of CBOE, right? So he's been trading for he's a real veteran, probably traded for like 30 years or something, right? And we talked about trading, and I talked about his trading style, and I asked him like, do you have any tips or anything that you feel like a new trader or an experienced trader like me needs to know? What he said kind of blew me a mind. Not blew me a mind, it blew me away. Also, it's on Spotify as well. That's awesome. Anyway, so he said have you read the book Trading in the Zone? I'm like, yeah, it's my Bible. I read it like once a week or once a month. I listen to it almost like on a weekly basis. And he said, well, then you have everything you need, right? So here's a guy who's been trading for 30 years, and what he says is read Trading in the Zone, and that's all you need. And that also made me realize, and that's when I've been reading that book for several years, that also made me realize that, wow, there's some real power in here. So I read the book once again after hearing him say that, and I realized that it's a true masterpiece. Like, it's a true masterpiece, really. He dives into some really deep philosophical questions of not only trading, but the human mind, and especially, emotions and, how we deal with those emotions and relate it to trading in such a beautiful way, right? And he also says something very important, which is consistency is a state of mind, right? Most people think that the consistency you seek in trading is by just showing up regularly, showing up every day, and that's it, right? But it's far from that. It's far from that. To be able to show up and step into that flow state of mind on a daily, regular basis, you need to have a consistency of mind. You need to have a mindset of consistency, and you need to be able to think in terms of probability, which is very hard. It's extremely hard. And it has a lot to do with the fact that when we're raised, when we grow up, especially in school, we're we're taught that failure is not an option, right? To fail is bad. To get bad grades, that's bad. You want to be winning. Everyone should be winning, right? We're taught that mistakes are just not good, right? But in trading, it's the other way around, right? In trading, what fuels you as a future professional trader is the mistakes. And most professional traders, they lose more than they win, right? Most professional traders have a win rate lower than 50%. My win rate is around 50%. At this point, I'd say it's more closer to 45. Why and how am I profitable with losing more than I win? Well, that's all about having a positive expectancy of the system, and making sure that your winners are actually bigger than your losers. But being able to think in terms of, probabilities, and accepting that you're going to be a loser, all right? You're going to be losing more than you win. It's very, 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 very hard, because society has taught us that that's not the way you're supposed to be successful, right? Successful people do not lose. Successful people really does not lose more than they win. But in trading, they do, right? In trading, you will most likely lose more than you win, right? But the idea of making money in trading is you're going to be approaching the markets just like a casino, right? Where you have a slight edge, right? Where when you actually win, the winners are slightly bigger than the losers, so you'll make up for the losers. And that's what trading is all about. It's just a game of probabilities, and you're playing the long game. It's very, very important to understand this. And some people are going to have a much harder time realizing this and really living it, right? And what it comes down to, I believe, is I really do believe this. There's a book called Running on Empty, which is a book about emotional neglect, right? And people that it's a pretty deep subject, right? But people that have been emotionally neglected as children, which I believe is a lot of people, right? Because emotional neglect is can happen in a very positive and very functioning family, right? But people that have been experiencing emotional neglect as children usually has a lot of problems with their own emotions and specific problems in adulthood, right? If you are a person and you think you might have been experiencing emotional neglect in childhood, which I certainly had, you're going to have a very hard time trading. You're going to have a very, let me repeat this, you're going to have a very hard time trading. If you compare yourself with somebody who has not been subject to emotional neglect in childhood, you're going to have a much harder time trading. Why? Because as a trader, you need to have full control of your emotions and you need to have a connection with your inner self. Because in the markets, there's nobody else who will help you. It's only you and the millions and millions and millions of other market participants, and you're alone. You're all alone. It's all up to you. Whatever decision you make, that's all up to you. And to realize that it's the psychology that drives these decisions, you need to realize what really drives your own psychology. And if you're emotionally neglected, you're gonna have negative routines to deal with certain emotions like fear. You're gonna have that flight and fight kick in, and you're gonna make some really bad and stupid decisions in trading. I believe that's why it took me years and years and years to actually figure this out and work on my emotions. And it's not only until I started working on my emotions that I figured this out. There's a reason why we have two trading psychologists in the bird nest, and there's a reason why professional traders actually seek help from psychologists, because they believe that that's what they need to work on. So if you're interested in the topic of emotional neglect, you should read the book Running on Empty. It's a book by this one right here. I believe this is the one. Yeah, so you can go to just Google "Running on Empty" book. It's not about trading. It has nothing to do with trading, but I believe you'll realize why having control of your emotional state of mind is crucial to becoming a powerful trader. And you're going to be right. So we're seeing that risk on push right now. Very nice. By the way, guys, hit the like button if you want to make money. We're seeing a pretty good push-up move right now. I had to interrupt myself there because I'm getting some alerts. You're seeing the Bitcoin moving slightly to the upside. You're seeing the S&P slightly moving to the upside. Let's see what the alerts are saying right here. XRP is actually looking quite good here. So I like XRP. I didn't talk about this one, but I do like it. We have a decent area right here. A decent horizontal SO level right here. We hit the daily 20 and daily 50 as well as the day, 4-hour 20 and 50 EMA with stochastics below 30, giving us a bull cross. That's the setup, right? Now we just want to wait for a break and retest of the 50. That's what I'm looking at this one. Why? Because the zone that we're in right now is quite large, right? So this would be the area. Now look at compare XRP with XMR, and you're going to see the exact same thing. Exact same thing. Exact same thing. And that's what it's all about. You're going to be consistent. You're going to be, your setup is going to be looking exactly the same on most shots, right? You could be consistent in the way you trade. And then, it all comes down to consistency of mind. You're going to think in a specific way. And that's also something Mark Douglas talks about in his book, is the difference between a profitable professional trader and the average retail trader is mindset. They simply think differently, right? And I do believe that I've reached that state, that mental state where I do believe I think differently than the average trader, because I do think in probabilities. I do approach the market from a very relaxed and balanced state of mind, but not always, right? Not always. Only when I'm in the flow. When I'm not in the flow, I fuck up all the time, right? So you can see on my equity curve where I really do make some mistakes. It's like the drawdowns are bigger than what they usually are, right? And I read my journal, and looking at my journal, it's so obvious that I'm in just this bad mental state of mind during these losing periods. It might be, might had a might have started with having an argument or a fight with my partner. It might have been a very stressful day with the kids. So I have two kids with kind of bad ADHD. So they kind of at times they just run around and scream and try to kill each other while I'm in the office trying to trade, and that's a stressful situation, right? And a situation like that is obviously not optimal to enter a flow state of mind where you're balanced mentally and so what I try to do is I try to only really trade and only make crucial trading decisions when I'm in a flow state of mind. And there's certain things that I do to because you can't really choose to enter the flow state of mind, right? You have to set up your environment around you to make it easier to enter that flow state of mind, right? And for me, it's two crucial things, and that, or actually three, right? So the first and most important for me is sleep, right? I need to get enough sleep a night, and because if I haven't slept enough, it's absolutely impossible for me to enter the flow state of mind. Secondly, I need to work out regularly, preferably on a daily basis, right? So I'm trying to run at least once a week, but preferably 3 times a week, and do some type of strength exercises. I have a small gym at home, which I do every day, right? And then the third one is planning, right? Planning. So what I do is I, try to plan my whole day in detail, exactly what I'm doing at what time. And when all of these three things go together and work together, that's when I enter the flow state of mind, and that's when I have fantastic trading results. All my best months have been when I'm following this structure and these routines, right? So you can clearly see that I haven't talked about TA, right? What I do in TA has nothing to do with my profitability, right? Everything has to do with what I'm doing outside the office and how I'm taking care of my emotional and physical well-being. That's what it's all about, right? And it has nothing to do with TA. And that's because I need to set up a scenario where my consistency of mind is what drives my trading actions, right? All right, guys, I think that's it for me today. If you have enjoyed this live stream, please, well, yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, please hit the like and subscribe button if you like this live stream, and if you think it's worth listening to, why not share it on Twitter or whatever? Because I do think that this session that I had today was a really good one, and I've shared with you some stuff that I really do believe is the most important things in trading. This is a beautiful comment from somebody with a beautiful avatar. Set aside emotions when trading. Yes and no, right? When you start trading, absolutely set aside your emotions when trading. But I don't think that's the right way to do it, right? I think what you should do is you should let yourself experience the emotions, right? Let yourself experience the emotions, and you shouldn't ignore the emotions, right? So let's say you're over trading. You're usually, and I've done this, right? You're usually trading a swing trading system. You're following your system, and then all of a sudden you find yourself on a 5 minute chart and you're taking trades which are just retarded. You're getting stopped out, and then you're getting stopped out again, and you're like, ah, shit, this trade might work out the third time. I might make it back, so I'll take another trade. And then all of a sudden you're down more than you've made in the last week or two. So that's going to create a panic, right? That's going to create a panic. That's going to create like, what the hell am I doing? Why am I this stupid? I have rules. I have plans. Why am I making this? it's crucial that you feel those emotions. You dive into these emotions and you let yourself experience those emotions. Take a moment and feel whatever you're feeling and try to understand, why am I feeling this? Why am I making these mistakes? You got to become one with that emotions, because the more you understand about your emotions, the easier it's going to be to identify those emotions before it, before you make a mistake, right? So the best time to stop yourself from making a mistake is, when you start to see the signs of that happening. And the second best time to do that is right before you click buy or sell, right? After that, it's too late, right? So let yourself experience the emotions. And I wouldn't really say that you're supposed to be trading without emotions, because your emotions are a great tool to tell you what to do and what not to do. When you start feeling stressed, you do not trade, right? The feeling of stress is a way, is a warning sign. Do not trade when stressed. When you feel good, when you feel balanced, when you feel positive but not too positive, not euphoric, that's when you should be trading, right? And when you make a mistake based on emotional error, take a pen and paper, write it down, because that will help you to come to the last stage of trading, which is intuitive trading, where you basically trade based on emotions. Not emotions, but you're based on, well, some type of emotions, right? You are trading based on emotions, right? So I wouldn't say ignore your emotions. I'd say learn from it, right? Learn from it and embrace it, because listening to your emotional state of mind will give you a lot of clues of what to do and what not to do, right? The writer of Trading in the Zone is Mark Douglas. All right. Uh, one thing, Mark Douglas. Let's see if I can Mark Douglas. I don't know how to pronounce it, to spell his last name, so I'm not gonna try. But it's Mark Douglas. Um, do you think it's wise to sell spot position before the EU decision on BTC today? I don't know. I haven't a Bitcoin at this point, so I like it. But man, I don't know. I don't know. Perhaps. Perhaps. I don't know what to say about that. I don't think it's going to be a big deal. I mean, they're going to vote it through, most likely, right? They always do, because they've introduced it last minute, and most of the time, the only way to get it out of not being voted through is getting it um, out of the law, or out of the whatever it's called. So it's in there, right? And they're going to vote on it, and I don't see a reason why they wouldn't vote for it, because I don't believe it's only about ban on proof of work coins. They probably embed that into a larger thing. And they're not even going to talk about that, right? They're going to talk about what the larger theme is. And then somewhere along the lines, you have that ban on proof of work. So maybe even a lot of people that voted on this or will vote on this, they have no idea about this. They haven't read through everything. Like, come on. Probably hundreds of pages of weird text all in caps lock. And politicians is going to read through that and then say like, proof of work. I don't know what the fuck this is. I don't care. That's his vote, you know? Right. So, and this is also, I mean, yeah, a lot of people are probably stressed. I know a lot of people like, and this all comes down to, um, if you do feel stressed over the life, of your life, or situation around the world, deal with that. All right, you gotta deal with that before you make life-changing decision and major business decisions, which trading is. Right. I would like to say that every trade is a potential life-changing. Every trade is a potential life-changing decision, and every single trade is a major business decision in your trading business, right? So deal with the scenario and your mental state of mind before you make major financial decisions, which is entering and exiting trades. All right, guys. I would like to thank you all for joining. It's been a great stream, great live. If you want to see more like this, subscribe. I'm going to be doing more live streams like this. If you want to be kept up to date with my private mentorship spots, follow me on Twitter, where I'm at libs42, which is down in the left corner right here. And yeah, wish you all a great profitable week. I haven't really I feel like I've talked more about the mental aspect of trading today. I haven't really went into a lot of setups, but I do and here's my son. Vad sa du? Okay. Har du lust att stänga dörren? Right, he just wanted to say hi. All right, guys, take care. See you guys. I'll post updates on whatever trades I'm looking at in my channel in the Discord community. So check that out if you want. You have free access for 7 days if you want to join, right? So you don't even have to pay anything. You just to join free for 7 days. You can see everything I record and upload and everything like that. All right, guys, take care and see you guys in the next one.